Okay, it is Wednesday, the 11th of January. We're going to jump right into this. I've got stuff to do today. Hello to everybody who might be hanging out. And hello, Harry. So, on Monday, I let you guys know that I'm working on some Game Jam stuff, videos, and things like that as a request. And we started working on taking like our puzzle template and we moved it into like a blackout game. Well, I finished up the day by knocking out all the other templates, so I've got all the templates done. And then we have the geometry brushes as one of the example videos. Now, the next thing I need to work on, because I still plan on doing some of the other tips and tricks, but I am short on tips in general, so I'm just going to take another day or so to still collect them, maybe if I get more today. We're going to work on get it done videos. These are basically technically stuff I've done for other people. They've asked, how do I open a door? How do I make sure that I have a key when I want to open the door? I want to push a button and something happens. Stuff like that. Things that people have asked and that generally come up often in a game in general, that we're going to create example project for, put all these in there, and then knock out really quick videos of boom. You want a start menu? Here's how you make a start menu. You want a pause menu? Here's how you make a pause menu. You want to do volume control? Here's how you do a slider for volume control. You want to be able to make a button that does something? Here's how you make a button that does something generically. Stuff like that. So a bunch of generic get it done videos. And that is what is on the plan today. So let's figure out where my project went to. I think it's here. There we go. I've got a cat in the way of the other monitor, so it's hard to see my taskbar. And let's do this. We're going to create a new project. The nice thing is I'll be able to lock this under the GitHub. So I'll be able to actually create this project using a template. So that'll be nice to actually be able to do now. I won't have to worry about other things. So my thought is third person template. Because it'll give me more features. I can recreate most things I do with the first person and third. So I'm going to go with the third person. So this will be Game Jam Examples is what we're going to call it. We're not going to include starter content. We'll just steal everything from the first one. And we'll put it in our E folder because that's where I'm putting this stuff. Let's see. Harry, a major problems with the navigation system and working with their paths for anything that isn't the freaking character. By character, do you mean the player or character as in a character blueprint? Because you're pretty much going to need a character for navigation. Dynamic navigation recalculation is so insanely expensive. How the hell does it even supposed to work? Yeah, the character class. Yeah, as long as you have a character, you should be fine for navigation. If you don't have a character, you're going to have a problem. That's just the way it works. Well, I mean, whether you need it or not, I guess, is subjective. You should use it. How about that? I think you might be running into issues because you don't have a character. That's one of those things. The nav mesh is really designed for the character. The character movement's got the obstacle avoidance and everything built into it. I have not really worked with a dynamic navigation recalculation on a large project. I've used it on a small project and it worked fine. You know, with like a simple open up a door, the nav mesh recalculates and something can go through the door. Okay, let's see. Let's get rid of the stuff we don't need. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's call this examples. Now we'll just nuke everything that's in here and we'll pull it back in if needed. Switch our light over to movable. There we go. Now I've got a quick basic project. No, we don't need this floaty thingy right there either. Hello, Zelati. Yeah, I know that the navigation system has a lot of tweaks and stuff to it. I mean, I've not used it past the basics. I've created characters. I've had characters move around levels towards the player, flee from the player, and things like that. I've only really ever used it with characters themselves, actual humanoid characters. Do I have another light here that needs to be built? Because I still have weird stuff on the ground. There's my light maps. Can I please get rid of them? There we go. I'm not going to get rid of them. Alright, I should. Default to. Oh, I rebuild, don't know. Yep, okay. So are we gonna build? There we go. Now my light maps are gone. Thank you. I've heard that sentiment before, Harry. The Unreal Engine definitely does have some preconceived settings for what it considers a game. And I know once you get off that beaten track, it does become a little more difficult to work with. I cannot disagree with that statement. Let's see. We're gonna start with the button. We're gonna start with the door first. That's what we're gonna start with. And let's go ahead and just steal the door stuff from a starter template. If I can figure out where I have one. Do I even have starter template anywhere in here? Oh, let's see if this one has it. Starter content. There we go. Because I wanted a door. Okay, so I want an actual door, which I know is in here somewhere. There we go. We'll grab the door and we'll grab the door frame. Migrate. Objects. Keep gem examples content. There we go. So at least we have some doors we can steal. Let's recreate this map in different. Yeah, let's duplicate this map. We'll save this one as door example map. There we go. Door examples. There we go. Okay, now we should be able to actually do something. So we're just going to do blueprint actor. This will be blueprint generic door. And we're going to see about getting this set up as generically as possible. Now the door itself, let's see. I'm just going to do a root for the scene component. And we're going to add a static mesh for the door itself. We're going to see how much of this we can set up as generically possible for designers is what we're going to do. So let's see, door mesh, static mesh. Let's go ahead and pick editable construction script. Grab this, set static mesh, set static mesh. And we'll pass in door mesh. Like that. Okay. So now we should have nothing, but I should be able to edit in the door. Like that. There we go. Cool. So that's what I was hoping there. Now, the key here is, do I make the X forward or the X? Because X is technically forward, but this pivot, I guess technically if the door pivots like this, then it's not really an issue. I'll have to figure that out. An easy way to make this as generic as possible. Let's just slap a door frame in here because I can. Let's move our door. This. Let's look at it from the top, make it easier. Let's move our door over like that. Let's see. 5 for a snap. This thing is, yeah. Let's reset everything because we have stuff that is not set properly in here, like at all. There we go. There we go. Now our offset's fixed. Now we just need to put our door up. This, snap it down, grab our door frame, our door, snap it down. Oops. Okay, so there's our generic door that we're going to go with to start with for our first example, which is a tiny friggin' door. Okay, cool. Good. Let's grab our door. I don't think our door itself has collision. Yeah, it did not. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're good there. Okay. So now we just need to rig up a generic door setup. We'll just do a proximity check first. So we'll do a box collision. We'll just simply have the door open with proximity. So this is going to be the proximity box. And we'll go ahead and... What's the easiest way of making this adjustable? Because we can't assume the size of the door, we're going to make this as generic as possible. So expose the extents, maybe? Probably the easiest way to do it. So that way they can edit it in the editor. But then you have the location as well. Let me see. What's this look like now? Yeah, see? Where's this at? Okay, so it's on the root. Technically, we want it part of the stack mesh. But the root of the stack mesh is going to be different for rotational purposes. And I guess it's not a big deal to just grab the box and then resize the box. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. We'll just call that the props. Yeah, you know what? This will be fine. It's not really that big of a deal. 50. There's not everything we can make super generic. I mean, there are certain limitations that we are going to run into. There's really nothing we can do about it. Box, let's close everything or delete everything. Our proximity box, when the component begins to overlap, we'll check and see if it's the character. So we want to make this as generic as possible because if they fire, we don't want them to do it. So we need to make sure we can easily set up what the character is. So let's see. I don't want equal object. Let's see if we can do this. Character class. Make that editable. And that should allow us to grab our door. We can set the character class. So in this case, third person character. Let's start naming these things appropriately. Setup. Can I have setup character category, please? Thank you. door mesh. I guess technically this wouldn't. No, this would just be a component. There we go. So now it should be under. No, but we do want the door. Yeah, the door mesh is technically part of the setup. Like that. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. I guess technically the proximity box is a component. Okay, so if it's equal to the character class, then we're going to go ahead and open the door. So we'll do custom event, open the door. We're going to give this a input. We'll call this one I want to make sure we can close it as well. So so let's call this animate the door. We'll call this is opening like that. The door. We're gonna work on getting this changed over. And then let's see, is currently animating. Make sure that this is an internal variable. It is private, and this is a Boolean. That way we know on that one. Let's see, wouldn't it be easier if it should be the player character to cast the third person character from the other actor? The player character to cast the third person character from other actor. So basically, cast this to the third person character is what you're saying? I mean, technically I could do the cast and fail. That would technically work as well. But I don't think you can cast at runtime is the biggest issue. You can't change the cast at runtime if that's what we're talking about. Did you mean something like cast to third person? Like this? The problem is, what if this is not... We are assuming that this door is going to be opened by my third person character. What if it's not a third-person character? This is supposed to be a generic door. I should be able to take this blueprint, drop it inside my scene, set it up, and it'll work. What if I want this to only be opened by AI, for example? Or what if I want this to only be opened by bullets? So that's why we want to set it up for the class that can... So technically I could rename that to be class that can open door. Technically that's more appropriate. So this is the class that can open the door. Because unfortunately you can't do a cast generically, as far as I know. Yeah. The point of this is to basically have stuff you can easily reuse and get stuff done as soon as quickly in game jam formats. So yeah, no, it's a good question. No problems with that one. And hello Schlump. I did see you pop in earlier. Let's see, timeline. Select, not a select, we're gonna do an if. Yeah. If we're opening, we'll play from the start. If not, we'll reverse from the end. Probably want this configurable, but we're gonna... Yeah, you know what? We'll lock this at 1 second so we can make this configurable. And we probably shouldn't assume the direction either, because we want to make this as generic as possible. So, shoot, no, the in and yeah, this is just to be the lerp, so it's not a vector track. I do want a float track because we're just driving this. Lerp 0 to 1. There we go, and we're just gonna do 0 0. 1 1. Yeah, we just want this to be as simple as possible. on our lerp, and this will be the animate door timeline, because we need that later. And on this one, we are going to now take our shoot. And I already see an issue. We can't have the proximity box be on the stack mesh, because once we rotate the stack mesh, the box will change. Yeah, so it's gonna have to be separate. We're gonna take the stack mesh. We're gonna set new rotation. Set relative rotation. Like that. I'll go and split that. No, we should be able to not have to do that. We should be able to... Okay, where's our begin play? We're going to store the current rotation of stack mesh. Like that. Convert that to a variable. Yeah, the point of this is, what I'm doing right now is literally every time you do a door, this is what I do in order to set it up. And just simply getting this into easily reusable blueprint that someone can create and just bam, drop, bam, drop, bam, drop. Set a few variables and you're good to go is what we want. This will be the starting door rotation. And this is an internal variable. We will end up lerping our rotator from our starting value to our ending value. So we should be able to take our starting door rotation and then our ending rotation. This is our ending door rotation. This one we want in setup. This one will be a public variable, and that will be there. So in theory, that's a door that should open if I set the variables up properly when I get next to it. Pretty sure this might work. Okay, so let's set up the door. So our starting rotation for our door, so actually we need to rename this stack mesh to be door mesh. Make that easier. Okay, so our door mesh, which didn't rename, do I already have a door mesh? I do. That's the internal. So the person's not even gonna mess with this, so let's not worry about that. If we want this to open, we're gonna go with 110. So we're gonna go with 0, 0, 110 is our goal for our ending rotation. So we should be able to grab our blueprint. 0, 0, 110. Let's see what happens. There we go. Now I can't get through the stupid thing because of collision, but I'm not really worried about that. That's just a design thing. And our door resets itself because that's how we have it set up every time we enter. So that's good. So now we can just basically see about adding options to the door. So we're going to set up a door close time as a float. We're going to put this into setup. And this one's going to be, let's comment this, how long until the door closes itself? 0 is never. So we'll do that. And what we'll want to do is we'll make a new custom event. And we'll call this one, put that in reverse from end. We'll call this one close the door. Like that. And after we are done setting our relative rotation of the door, we can do an if check. Let's just move these over so I have plenty of room here. And we'll check and see if the door close time is greater than 0. If it is, we're going to want to auto close the door. So we'll set a timer by function. We're going to call this close the door. And the time will be the door close time. So let me move my character over for testing, for big easier testing. Grab the left handle, move it over, like that. There we go. I'll go over here. Nothing different. We should have no difference because we have 0 for the closed door time. Everything should still restart. Good. Now we should be able to grab our door. We can make door close time an event. Door close time will set it to 2 seconds. Test it. Now the door should open and then close after 2 seconds. There we go. Okay. And it looked like the door friggin' disappeared when I walked away. That was actually kind of cool. Oh, I know why. So we have an issue here. When we close the door, we're going to end up animating again through a second time when it finishes. And then when it finishes, it is going to do itself again. It's going to close the door again. So I don't know if this is the smart way to do this, but I'm going to do this anyways. I'm going to define 0 as closed and 1 as open. So we can easily, because again, this is for a game jam. We want the stuff to work and function as quickly as possible. So we should be able to just, actually we should be able to just end this, shouldn't we? Let's see, door state. Yeah, we should be able to just end this, since technically this will be a true, and this will be a, let's move you down here, that, and that, this should prevent it from firing off again, if I did this right. Let me add a reroute note here. First time we come through, the door should be open. So this will be, the door is open and we have a time. Second time through, we still have this, but our door state's now going to be set to 0. So we just need to determine now the proper way of doing this. Okay, so, and I still need to set this. Yeah, I've still got a bunch of variables in here I've got to set properly, just to maintain door state. This door state, play for start. This is going to be open. If we're closing the door, we'll set the door state to open like this. And we should be animated as well, so that really didn't freaking help. This may not be the, oops, this one's supposed to be here. This may not be the right way of doing this for now, but we're just going to get it working. How to make a legit loading screen, one that has a progress bar while it loads all of a map's resources. Traditionally, for something like that, basically they have a list of resources that they are loading during a loading screen. They're not necessarily just using like a stream level. They're actually loading in objects or things like that. And because they have a list of resources, you know, they're going to load up 100 items, for example. Every time it loads an item, they can then update the progress bar. If you're trying to get a... So that's why you have the difference between a loading screen with a bar. If it's loading up resources, then it can actually keep track of the resources and your progress bar can be updated properly. If it's just loading in like a stream level, then you could just use the little whirly, spinny thingy that I can't remember what it's called. Loading thingy. But anyways, the thing that just spins while you're loading. And what's funny about that question is I actually did something yesterday to look into this. You have, let me find my thing. Let me find my playground. This is an example of, yeah, I was helping someone else do something like this for yesterday for loading in images. Throbber, thank you, Schlump. That was the name of the other thing. So this is an example I worked on yesterday, which I can't seem to find my stupid thing. Here we go. Let's see, my content, loadable, load assets. Here we go. So this is actually a map that if I click on these buttons, if you'll notice the bottom, these images are changing. What that does is it uses the load asset node, and this basically takes an asset reference and loads up an asset off of your storage device and puts it into something else, into memory, stores it into an object, whatever you want it to be, basically. So this is the actual node itself, load asset. It grabs the index. In this case, I'm grabbing images, loading them up into an array, and then using the images in the array to change the images you see on the screen. So I'm changing between two different sets of icons, basically. Now, every time you run load asset and it finishes, you can know based on I could technically have a progress bar here. Once my load asset is done and I set it in my array, I could update the progress of my progress bar. And then this would just simply run every time it loads, it would update my progress bar. And since I know how many assets I'm trying to load in the first place, I could easily do the math and figure out my percentage. So this is how you would use the load asset node, basically. When you use the load map node, it doesn't do any of this stuff. No, that's the issue. When you're loading a map, like for example, if you open level, this is not asynchronous. This will literally stop your game while it's loading. So in that case, you kind of don't even have a progress bar or anything. You just literally can't do anything while this is running. If you're loading a stream level, this is run asynchronously, so it'll run in the background. In this case, you would basically have a screen that says loading, have your little throbber, the little guy that spins in a circle. This would run in the background while your thingy spins, and then once it's done, you would, fade out your screen and then load up, display your other level. The open level node itself, though, has no way of doing what you're asking for. The open level node is a dummy. It just fires and forgets. Nothing else can happen while this is running. Yeah, if you're talking about a progress bar, that's the thing. There's multiple ways of referring to loading. If you want a progress bar, you need to be able to do something such as manually loading in your assets. If you want to do like a throbber that continues to run, you want to stream in your level. And if you want the entire game to freeze up, basically, then you use your open level. Those are pretty much your options. I guess it's possible if you were to edit the code, you could change open level to give you like a callback where it showed you percentage loading, but it's not likely. Yeah, see, the problem is I don't have anything big to load, but in this case, here's my example here. If I did a progress bar, like here for loading, inside of my code that loads, basically this load the asset function, it grabs how many assets I have to load. In this case, I have an array set up of 4 items. It loads the asset. Once it's done loading it, it sets it up and stores it in my array. Then I increment the asset index so I know if I need to load anymore. I check it, see if I do. And if I do, I go ahead and load another one. If I don't, I go ahead and put everything on the screen. So in that case, right here where load the asset gets called, you'd have like loading bar set percent, which I always forget the name of that one. And this would be in here like this. This will go here like this. We'll just drag this down because we can. And then my percentage would be doing some basic math. So we grab like our current asset right here. We get the length. So this would give me 4, for example, and we divide that by however many I'm at now, which is my current index. And then this would give us a value. Oh, it's just gonna give me a friggin' integer. I hate this. I need to float this. And then I have to float this. This way, this is the only way we're gonna get back an actual not a vector, you stupid thing. Like this, then put it into there. I'm gonna pause it right here and compile it. We'll run this. See, this sets our percentage, and then we grab this, which is 4. Yeah, so I did my math backwards, which I almost always do every single time. That's why I put it there. There we go. And this should be 0.25. Yeah, so now I'm at 25% on my loading bar. So if we were to resume, if you look at my loading bar right here, it's at 25%. You can actually kind of see the little blue with the gray. We'll resume. Now it's at 50%. Half of my assets are loaded. Now we'll resume. It's technically at 75%. Now it's off by 1 error because of the fact that once I get to the end here, it's technically an off by 1 error. I'd have to do something like -1 and do something like that, and then resume, and we have that. Resume, we should have another third. Resume, now we're at full. So all my assets are loaded. This is one of those cases where I'm not gonna be able to see it because of the fact that, I mean, you could technically, if you watch this quick enough, I don't even know if it's showing up on the video, you can technically see the loading bar flicker in and out. That's because it's so quick. But that's how you would do it. And yes, that's just, if you use the built-in functions that Unreal provides you with, they don't have a callback as far as I can tell in terms of the loading progress. That's just how it is. You load in levels, load in assets. You know, you basically have to have some list of assets, and you'd have to manually manage them to get a loading bar. If you have a big game, then that's probably something you do. If not, just you have the little roundy progress thingy, the throbber that I keep forgetting the name of. And you just, you know, you have a little... of course, it's going to be... Where's the stupid throbber hiding at? Right here. You just have your little throbber bar. Which, no, circular throbber is the other one I was looking for too. Yeah, and it just sits there in the... As long as you're loading up a stream level, you could just have it sit there and you have a little text that says loading. That's what most of your games probably do, to be honest. They don't have the time to do a loading bar. Unreal Engine doesn't have that callback, is what it is. But if you are using the traditional open level node, you can't do any of the stuff because it's a locking process. But I'm glad you asked, because that's kind of cool, because that's something like, I plan on showing how to do the load assets. That's why I was working on it yesterday, and this is something kind of cool to add into it to show progress. I don't have any big assets to show, unfortunately. All my assets are small for this demonstration. Okay, let's go back to this. So we want to, we're going to do a quick if check here. We do not want the door to animate if it's currently doing something. So if you're not currently animating, so we don't want to be able to step in and out and have it trigger, for example. We only want to do something when we go in and out once. Now I've got, oh, it would probably also help if I ever reset is currently animating after I'm done. So, yeah. There we go. So now when it's done animating, we should have a thing. Now I still have an issue with the closing one. I should probably technically not set this here, is what I should do. I should set this at our false branch, because technically we are going to animate closing the door as well. So now we should be able to run around, keep triggering it, nothing should happen, it should close, and we should be able to go back and reopen it. And no matter what we do, it should not re-trigger until it's done animating. And then if we were to go into our door itself and change its close time back to 0, we should be able to immediately, yeah, which is fine. And that's because of the fact that we are telling it to do that. So we need another variable in here, and it should probably be allow close is what I'm thinking. So we'll do allow close, and we'll expose, and we'll do should the door close when we trigger again. We'll do that. And we'll set this to false. Go back into our overlap event. I'm wondering how much of this code I should keep. I'm going to keep all this code and animate the door, actually. It just makes it a lot easier for me. So we know if we're currently animating, you should do nothing. The next check would be allow close. And we'll do another if check. And we'll move this up here because organization is ruling today. So if we should allow the door to close, then we should fire this off no matter what, is what I'm thinking. Let's see what happens. No, okay, yeah, see. Okay, allow close should be false. Oh, but we're currently animating the door. Okay, so I pulled this off. It should not be on the true branch. It should be on the false branch. Yep. Okay, so, and look at that. We managed to break it. Allow close. Yeah, see, so blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I know there's an easy way of doing this. I'm just trying to logically think of the right way to do it. Because are we currently animating? No. Then we're going to go ahead and animate the door, either opened or closed. However, we only want to close the door if we allow close. Now, we shouldn't have to worry about this one firing off because it should only get fired from here when we want to close the door. What we need to worry about is this entire node system firing. Okay, so actually, you know what? We should probably just be a whole blocking thing. Right? Oh, crap. Okay. Okay, logic. You can do this. Okay. If the door state is 1, that means it's open, and we allow close. Okay. If this is true, then we should go ahead and fire off the... We should honestly fire off the closed door event. That would just make it a lot smarter. Okay, but the problem is, where does this go? So I plug this in here. What happens under false? Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I think this is a case of me setting up too many things to do the same thing, which is causing an issue. Oh, okay, nope, okay. Yep, I got this one. I got this one. There we go. That should do it. Let's try it. I don't remember what my settings were. What were my settings? Allow close is off, right? Okay, so we're not currently animating. Is the door opening? False. Okay, we'll go up here. What's the door state? Closed. Do we allow closed? False. Yeah, why is this firing off? Logic is like math, and it just drives me freaking banana nuts. Okay, so obviously that's not our issue here. Wait, do I ever call? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm always calling animate the door with the true state, which means it's always going to come back true. So honestly, we don't even need that. We don't need no, because we want the ability to call the door open or close. Because what if the person wants to close it when they trigger the door? I'm just thinking out loud at this point in time. So let's grab the door state. The door state's open, and we're going to not this, and that would run that. Okay, so we're going to change that into that, because sometimes we might want to start with the door open, I'm thinking. So this should at least tell it to animate the door based on the opposite of what the current state is. And then, okay, so let's try this again. There we go. It never makes it to this point because of the fact that we don't tell it to open the door. Okay. I know that a lot of this stuff may seem stupid, but if we have a door that we can just plop into the scene, slap some settings on it over here, and it works exactly like we want it, it'll allow iteration time to work a lot quicker. So you can see here that this door will close and open if I walk into it. If I know when I do it, it'll only do it when I overlap it. That's based on the checkbox. If we want to trigger it only once, for example, remotely, now we have the ability to make it sure it never closes. Let's start another variable in here called start open. That's what we'll do here. And we'll do does the door start open. And we will keep this one as false. And this one's going to go into our begin play setup right here. And what we're going to do is simply set the relative rotation on startup. So we're going to do a get, we'll do if they want the door to start open, then we're going to do this, set the relative mesh, and set the door state to open. Okay, so we should be fine. Now we should go grab our door, start open, and the door should start open. Obviously it didn't, because it would help if you put in the actual ending door rotation. There we go. So now our door starts open. And since we don't allow it to close, it's always an open door. But if we toggle allow close, now the door should close when we walk to it. There we go. Okay, so now we've got some stuff. We've got some stuff working together like we want it. Let's test, like for example, let's test closing after 2, and let's allow start open and allow close. So let's see if everything's checked. Now it should start open. It should close when we walk into it. Nothing should happen. Now when we walk into it, it should open and then close automatically. And then it should keep repeating. Okay, so we've got some positive interaction from all of our stuff. So that's good. That basically sets up our proximity. So let's set another variable in here. Trigger by, let's do activate by proximity. We're going to call this, we're going to make a new one for this, and this is what's kind of cool. We'll call this one setup, and then we'll do a thingy, up and down thingy, and we'll call this one door type. And now we should have, under setup, we should have another one called door type. It would, if I actually, expose the variable. So there we go. So now we have setup, and then we have door type, which is the only little thing underneath it, where we can actually choose what type of door it is. So activate by proximity. So let's code in the activate by proximity. And the nice thing is this is just our overlap event right here. So we aren't even going to check that. We'll just do an if. And if it's an activate by proximity, like that, I'll put it up here. Then we're going to go ahead and actually check and trigger. So now, since it's disabled and we run it, the door should do nothing. Yep. Nice and simple. And then if we tell it to activate by proximity, now it should activate when we walk into it. Okay, cool. Hello, Zapz. So now we have a door we can activate by proximity. So that's good. I think we had, let's see, we have a door you can open by proximity. So that one's done. So interact button. We'll make it where you can only interact with it if you're within proximity and you push the certain button on the keyboard. Now we can do that with generic interfaces, but the player is still going to have to send it. Which means no matter what, the player is the one where the input comes in. We'll have to put something generic in the player. We don't have a choice on this one. But we can make the door easily have the interface, which is what we care about. Yeah, because we can't guarantee it's a door. So yeah, we'll still need to do the interface. We'll call this one blueprint interface, and we'll call this one interactable. And we'll make it really super simple, and we'll just do interact with, and that should be it for now. Let's set that up in here. We'll code in this. This is gonna definitely require some cleanup, obviously. Custom event. Whoops, not custom event. Interact. Event interact. There we go. And this one should be really simple. This should we should just call animate the door, right? That should be it, assuming okay, so we're gonna have a new variable, and we're gonna call this one activate by interact. And we'll put that here, make this one public. We'll do a simple check again. If so, only if we allow them to interact by interact are we going to actually animate the door. And we should just simply animate the door to the opposite of what it is currently. So grab the door state, not the door state, and go like that. There we go. And the only reason I'm doing this right now and not for putting this code like inside the animate the door is we might want the ability to change the door state to something no matter what. So we might say close the door no matter what, and if it's closed, then it's simply going to do nothing, but if it's open, it's going to close it. So basically just setting the door to the proper state. But there's our interactive. Okay, so there's our interact with. Here's our interactable. Now we should be able to just set up a input. And we'll just simply call one. Oh, okay, I just deleted the action map that's on it. That was awesome. Interact button. And we'll make this one the E key, because I like the E key. But we'll also make it the middle mouse button, because I like the middle mouse button. There we go. We'll grab our player, because our player has to implement this. And we'll make a interact with, oh, what the hell do we call it? I literally just created the button, and I can't remember what it's called. Interact button? There we go. I have the friggin' memory span of a gnat. Oh, crap. We still need to be able to get the actor that we've interacted with. So, when our capsule component overlaps, and when our capsule component ends overlapping, we're just simply going to keep track of what we can interact with. Interactable objects near us. We're just going to make this stupidly simple and easily named. Generic actors, and it's an array. Really, really simple. This should work. I've done this before. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. So we're going to add unique. Make sure we only have items on here once. And we're going to add the item that we have overlapped. And then we should be able to grab this. We should be able to grab this. Move item. And do this. Now, this isn't done yet because I forgot the important part. We only care about the ones that implement the interactable interface. So we're just simply going to keep track of what is around this character that we can interact with. And that should be when something overlaps our capsule component. And then no matter what, when we end, we're going to go and remove the item from our array. And it should, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue if the item's not in there. It should just fail. So it'll probably take some time, huh? Yeah, let's implement this just to be safe. I guess it probably couldn't hurt. Yeah. Okay, so now we should be able to, when we interact with this thing, we should be able to grab all of our interactable objects. We should be able to loop through them all. And since we know they're interactable, we should be able to do the interact with message. Like that. And that should only fire off to anything that's around us. So let's see what happens. Let's debug this to make sure. Because if you don't debug, then we'll spend an hour wondering why stuff stopped working. We'll just do hello and we'll do goodbye. I will test this and it should say hello when we get to it and goodbye when we leave. Obviously that's not the case. Oh, that's funny. I guess it would help if I hooked everything up, huh? And that's why I did the debugging. There we go. And now if we had multiple doors next to each other, then we should have multiple items we can interact with. Yep. Thank you, Rodrigo. I like how you guys notice the errors when I make them. That actually makes me happy because that means you are actually watching and paying attention and interacting. I could say that technically I did that just to see if anyone was paying attention, but honestly, nope, I wasn't paying attention. That's all that happened. There we go. So, where's our door? Interact with, okay, so I think this will work. I guess we're about to find out. Let's see. So, it should work if, there we go, look at that. It worked. And then in theory, if we allow the door to close, now we should be able to spam the button, and it's only going to open and close when it's at the right part. See, look at that. And I should be able to open it from the other side too. Yep, because it's a proximity thing. Cool, look at that. Now we got a door we can interact with. There's no message, but that's technically something you should leave up to someone else. But now we have a door where we can walk into it, or we can open and close. So technically, if we did this, if we did all of our options, the door should be open, it should close, but we can still interact with it with the E button. Like that. And then when we come back, yeah, it'll toggle because it triggers based on proximity. Plus we can tell it to close and open with our E key. Okay. Okay, I like that. That's cool. So interact button. Oops. Would be me pasting in a blueprint. Okay, that would be me pasting the blueprint again. Control V and Control B are way too close together. Interact button on keyboard. Interact button with input event. There we go. That way we at least know interact button means it's an input event. Okay, button somewhere else. Technically, button somewhere else is part of the generic trigger, I think we could technically... Let's see if we can do our generic trigger, and then, yeah, let's see if we can do it weird by... Yeah, let's see if we can do the generic trigger, and then actually use the generic trigger with the door, two completely separate blueprints, but they can still communicate with each other and interact. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think we can. Pretty sure we can. Let's say we can and figure it out from there. And I should probably call this a generic door, because why not? Okay, so our generic trigger, we're making it proximity based, and we're making it a mesh that you can activate. So we'll go with the proximity based version. We'll call this one our root. We're also going to give this a billboard, so that way we have our billboard, so we can know where it's at in our scene. And we got a little dragon dude. And we're going to add a box collision. And this will be the overlap trigger. And okay, we're still there. So this one should be really simple. We're just going to use how to do grab and save item. Can you give me a little more information, Juan, on what do you mean by grabbing and saving an item? I'll see if I can help you. I should be able to do this trigger super quick. Grab our overlap trigger. Oops, did not mean to grab it. I meant to do overlap. And other actor. We're gonna want to do. I'm thinking we're gonna want to do the same thing we did with this one, where we have only one class that can trigger it. So let me steal that code because it worked very well. So let's just steal all this code and see what happens. It makes it easy. Some of the stuff won't work, but I'm not even worried about it. Oh yeah, actually, activate by proximity. We'll go ahead and keep this one in here. That works well. We're gonna go ahead and make a new variable, class it open door, so we're good there. Call this one setup and editable. Activate proximity, make that one editable. Okay, so we're good here so far. And then we overlap. We check and see if it's the class that can open the door. And then now we need to call the event on what we're linked to is what we're gonna do. So since we're calling this a trigger, we're gonna go with the generic trigger event. So we're gonna do the same thing we did before. Triggerable. This way something could technically be interacted with and triggerable. And we'll call this one trigger event. Yeah, screw it. We'll call it trigger event. I don't know if that's the best name in the world, but we'll call it trigger event. Now we're going to need an actor we can trigger. Actor to trigger. Actor reference. We'll grab this, make that editable, and then trigger event. So if this is set up properly, we're technically done. I should have some variables on here. This will be the third person. Let me move the rest of these into setup. Let's see, activate by proximity, actor to trigger, there we go. We'll set activate to proximity, and now we need the actor to actually trigger. In this case, it's going to be our generic door. Now, I have no visual way of seeing this in the game. So I'm thinking a debug method would be nice. So let's see, is debug visible? We'll go with a Boolean. Put this under setup. We'll set this to false. We'll make it editable. And then this one's gonna be... yeah, we can do it in the construction script. We'll grab our billboard and set visible. No, in-game, right? Render in-game? Seriously, can I not change that option? Oh, hidden in-game. There we go. That's what I was looking for. There we go. And we'll set this to is debug visible. And we'll have to not that because it's stupidly named. Like that. There we go. So now we shouldn't be able to see it, but if I check this box, we should be able to see it. There we go. So now we can see the trigger. Nothing should happen because we haven't actually hooked up anything in the door, but our debug stuff works. Good. Let's grab the door. Let's have our door implement triggerable, like that. So now that it implements triggerable, we could technically have the trigger event and just literally have the trigger event fire off animate the door. Let's see if that works. There we go. So now we have a generic trigger. I'm guessing the door is set to not close. Yeah, so we'll set it to not close. There we go. Now we have a generic trigger that can technically trigger anything using blueprint interfaces. So let's grab our door, and we're going to give it a new one of these, and we will duplicate. We'll do activate by trigger. And we'll disconnect this. We'll grab the same code here. Do this, and this one is activate by trigger. Boop, like that. There we go. So now we should be able to activate by interacting, activate by proximity, activate by triggering. So let's, nothing's turned on. Our door should not work. We allow the door to activate by trigger, and our door should work. Bam, there we go. Now we have a generic thing here. So technically, if we were to grab another door and drop another door into our scene, let's set up our door mesh like that. We don't even need a outside on this one. Let's actually set this one to go up the other way. So we're going to go negative 110. Not auto close. We'll allow it to close. We'll activate by trigger. We could technically grab this one, and then now we tell it it is this door. If we play, it should now open that door. See? And it'll trigger whatever we have set up. Oh, that is awesome. Now I'm wondering if it would be smart to turn actor to trigger on our trigger thing into an array. That way you could technically trigger multiple things. That way we have a really simple generic trigger that can actually do more. Yeah, why not? It'll literally take us a minute. I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. We'll close that. We'll close everything just because I forgot what I was doing. Here's our trigger. We need to find our code. Oh, that's construction. Here's our code for overlapping, activating. This simply is a trigger event for the actor to trigger. So instead we change that into a for each loop to trigger the event. The item we're going to trigger is that right there. We'll feed it in our actor to trigger, which is now an array, and has the appropriate name actors to trigger. Plop this into right here, like that. And that should be it. We should end up being able to loop through. Can't parse default value. Seriously? There you go. It needed to change things. Okay. Yeah. There's no safety checks in here, but this should work. I should be able to add 2 items, grab my first door, grab my second door, and both doors should open. Both doors did not open, but both doors should have opened. Oh, probably because I grabbed the door frame instead of the door, so that really didn't help. There we go. Now I can trigger multiple items on one trigger. And since the trigger is generic, it just simply takes an array of actors and sends the event over. And then I disable it like that. Boom. Okay, cool. Okay, progressing well. Let's add an optional mesh component now. The static mesh we will basically use as a, I believe I set it up with mesh you can activates. Mesh you can activate. So basically, instead of this being proximity, this is going to be the interact again. So since we've already set up things generically, you want to bet we could do this super simple? You know what? I bet you if, okay, so let's duplicate this and we'll do activate by interact. Let's change this to trigger type. This way we can have our little subcategories for, okay, so now we can have activate by interact. We should be able to, this is the item that's going to be interacted with. So we should be able to add the interactable interface to this. Go back to our event graph. Let me move these over. There we go. We should be able to add interact with as an event. And when they interact with it, we basically do our check here. Oops. Come on, stop moving stuff, you stupid thing. Okay, seriously. Thank you. Do we want to activate by interact? If we do, then if someone's interacting with it, obviously it's someone who can interact, so we don't have to do this check. We just run this check then. Yeah. I need to put some safeguards in here, because technically if you spam the button right now while this loop is still running, it's going to cause an issue. But I think this is okay. Something calls interact on here. If we can be activated by interacting, then we trigger anything that we want to interact with. Hello, Conrad. So, is that literally it? I think that literally might be it. I don't have a mesh, and I don't have my stuff set up properly, but we can easily check this. Let's set nothing turned on. Nothing should work. Okay. Let's turn on activate by interact. And then if I hit the E button, there's our doors. Look at that. Son of a bitch. Doing things with the interfaces and as generically as possible makes this really super simple. That's friggin' odd. Okay, I gotta admit, that was pretty cool. So let's expose our stack mesh like we did before in our construction script. So we're going to grab this. We're going to set static mesh. And this will be the static mesh in here. So trigger, it'll just call it trigger mesh. Ooh, it should, first of all, it should definitely not be an array of actors. And it should be a static mesh. Bam, like that. Okay, so there we go. I didn't expose that, did I? No, first of all, it should be in setup. And it should be exposed. Like that. Okay, so button. There we go. Of course, I can't see my overlap mesh in here. Do I have like it'd be nice if I had a smaller button. I was just looking for a smaller button was all. I don't, but the nice thing is we'll just resize this to 0.5, 0.5. Try to resize this to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And then we would grab like our overlap trigger, and we'll resize this to something like 60 by 60 by. Okay, tab key, not tabbing today. I noticed this the other day. Really annoying. Okay, there we go. So in theory, here's our super duper buttony button of buttonness. that we should be able to walk over and trigger our doors. Look at that. And if we're not near anything, nothing triggers. Our doors, of course, have their own independent rules. Of course, they're set up not to do anything right now, but there we go. Look at that. Damn, okay. I think that actually does the trigger, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that. Okay. So let's go back to, so button somewhere else. Is it in-game element? Use generic trigger. So now we need set to need a key. What's the easiest, genericest way to do this? I was thinking about this earlier, and technically putting in a matching item on here as one of the requirements to open would work, but the problem is, how do you generically interface that with the person, the character? The character's interface, for example, their inventory could consist of strings or objects or structs. I'm thinking for that one, the door one, you just make that more of a. I'll just do an example of it in the character, because technically that's something in the character itself, and basically only have it. Shit. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do this. How can we do this generically? Because you know what? Honestly, I'm happy with what we have so far. So I think I'm gonna keep that as how can we do this generically, and leave that to work on later, because I don't want to work on it now. Can you place sphere reflection capsules dynamically? Very good question. I've never used a sphere reflection capture. I'm assuming you mean one of these things that are supposed to work. I would assume so. I just don't know if they work dynamically, because you can technically create anything, as far as I know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can create anything, right? Oh, I can't spawn anything inside of this. Wait, that's a blueprint. Why could? Oh, I'm in the construction script. I hate being in the construction script on accident. Yeah, I mean, you could spawn an actor, sphere reflection capture. Spawn a sphere reflection capture actor. For fuck's sake, I could not say that. Where's my? Do I have a begin play in here anywhere? Let's see, begin play. Let's see if that works, because I don't think we can. Yeah, it's gonna annoy me because of that, but let's get rid of the one I put in there. And let's hit play, and I do have one. Yeah. No, I have a sphere reflection capture element inside of my scene that was not there a second ago. Technically, I guess I have two of them now, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with yes, you can. You just use the spawn actor node. I mean, it is technically an actor. Okay. I think we got doors and triggers done. That was really friggin' nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do for destroyable objects yet. I should probably work on these things, but materials. This is one thing I'm actually kind of a little bit stuck on. I'd like to do more, but I can't really think of anything major. Common materials that people might want to make would be like a glass-like glowing screen. Basically how to use a missive effectively. Your basic texture setup. So your texture that has, 3 texture nodes, one for your diffuse, one for your normal map, and then one for maybe your roughness map or something like that. Just how to I've got a bunch of textures, how do I actually put this on something? A lot of people don't know the simple quick way to do it. So a generic texture, you can, like a master texture, And then I was also thinking of a font material texture. So grabbing the existing font material and then just showing how to bring that in, make it either, you know, non-transparent or show how to do like a gradient effect on it. But I don't use many materials personally because I'm not an artist. So if anyone has like a common-ish thing that they have to look for materials that is not landscape, feel free to toss it out there. Like, I'm always having to make this material, or I always need this material, or this material is common type thing. And I mentioned that because, but I was also realizing that the starter content comes with the friggin' glass material, like right here. So I might not even need to make the glass material because it looks like it's a glass material, right? Crap. I mean, it's glass-ish. I don't know if it's got any refraction. Yeah, it's got refraction on it. You've got refraction. You have your standard settings for glass. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna steal that. Yes, I can. Okay, so there we go. Glass. That was really hard to make. How am I going to do a computer screen? I mean, most people don't. Multiply. Okay, seriously, why do I, when I type multiply, I get a quadratic formula? Let's see, this one's going to be a single parameter. And this one's going to be convert. Emissive. And this one will be the base color. I could swear I was typing. This one is the emissive color. And default value of 1. Emissive strength is strong. Let's make that red. That did not come out red, did it? Nope. And we'll make our base color green, because why not? We'll make this really, whoa, did not mean to do that. Really funky looking material like that. Okay, we'll do that. So there's our glowing material. I have covered AI behavior trees. I've covered all the basics of the AI behavior trees with two very, very, very simple AI examples. Let's find where they went to. Let's see, YouTube. And then playlists. And technically, I found this the other day. I don't know why I never knew it was there. The search. You can type in AI. Here we go. So I have WTF is AI. So apparently I'm streaming live now. That's kind of cool. So there's this entire playlist for AI, including behavior trees, decorators, all the different nodes inside the behavior trees. And I do have a separate one in here, which I couldn't. Wow, I wonder where it's at. It's hiding from me. But there's also a separate, here we go, basic AI from scratch. There's 2 of these in there. So yeah, I do have some AI stuff. I plan on doing more AI. I plan on doing some better AI. Right now it is very generic and very generic. Let's see. Sludge. When was the run hardware benchmark node added? I do know it was in 4.11. That is when they added in all the hardware settings nodes. Or is it 4.13? Man, now you got me questioning. I actually say when it was added. Game user settings UE4. My video actually says when it was. Hold on a second. Learn, documentation, release notes. It might have been 4.13. Game user settings. No, it's not in 4.13. Maybe it was 4.11. I thought 4.11 was the input. Oh, seriously? Maybe 4.12? Well, this says added to the game user settings in 4.12, so my guess is 4.11. Oh, yeah, if you're in 4.12, okay, yeah, so if you're in 4.12 and you don't see it, then it must be 4.13. I did say it, because I remember looking for this exact same question. But I'll be damned if I remember. Oh, you know what? Let's see. GitHub. Let's see. Game user settings. But we need to know when the node. Yeah, see, unfortunately, these aren't the nodes. We care about the Kismet version of this, which is the node versions. Because game user settings technically existed in the code before Blueprints. You had to use the console commands to get access to them. Are you really gonna be a pain in my butt here? You are gonna be a pain in my butt. Well, this was July 29th is when, let's see, it really doesn't help here. Okay, how in the hell? Dude, now you've got me wanting to verify this. Yeah. No, I want to remember, because I think you are correct about 4.13. I'm thinking 4.11 was the input nodes, and I'm thinking 4.13 was the game user settings nodes. But I don't know why I literally cannot find them anymore. That's so funny. Well, you know what? Let's see what happens if I ask myself. Because I would know. Let's see what I say. Hello. Welcome to video 4. What is game user settings? Let's run through our quick little example here. Basically, game user settings. Oh, was I smart enough? No, I wasn't smart enough to put it in here. Oh, did I write it in here? No, see, I wrote 4.11. Okay, seriously, I wrote 4.11. Oh, I wonder if the hardware one was. I wonder if the hardware one was added in 13. Do you have the actual game user settings nodes in 4.12? That's actually a good question. Now that you mentioned that. Oh, not GitHub. Learning documentation. Because this is just my cheat sheet to get to release notes. Okay, yeah, okay, so okay. That makes sense then. Yeah, okay, so game user settings were introduced in .11. But the hardware one, maybe the hardware one that was in 13. Seriously, how does my brain not remember this stuff? Where'd that one go? There was one in, let's see. It must be 13 or 14 for the hardware benchmark. I can't actually give you an honest answer on that one. Let's go with it's above 4.12. Sorry about that. Man. Now I'm going to have to... I really want to figure this one out. Let's see. Benchmark. Hardware benchmark. There we go. Sometimes they're nice enough to tell us when they add them in here, but it doesn't look like they were. So... Nope. Okay, so they weren't in these changes. And I really don't want to look back any farther, because these were in, what do we got, September? Anyone remember when 4.14 dropped? I want to say after September, right? No, it's not going to, yeah, no, it won't keep me up. I'll figure it out. But the last changes in here were in September 21st. That affected this file. Oh, well, I wonder if we can find out when 4.14 was released. There we go. Yeah, November 15th was 4.14. So there's no way that it was added in 4.14. So there we go. We solved it. It's not in 12, and it was done before 4.14. So therefore, it has to be .13. The hardware benchmarks were added in .13. So we got that one resolved. Let's see. Can you reset a running timer other than setting it again? Damn, I don't remember that answer. For resetting, yeah, I'm guessing you mean basically kind of like delaying when it's going to execute then for a timer. Because our timer nodes are... Nope, of course not. Where's the stupid timer nodes at? It's not under component. You're really going to be clear and invalid. Utilities time. There we go. Wait, wasn't I just in utilities? Oh, under time. Seriously? Timer's under time? Yeah, no, I don't think you can, Harry. I believe you can only pause it and clear it, it looks like. Is it active? Is it pausable? How much time's remaining? Because you can't, the only sets are setting them, pausing them, unpausing them, and then clearing. Yeah, so that's what you'd have to basically, yeah, you'd have to clear it and set it. I think that's probably why they don't see the purpose of changing the time on it. I thought you could, but maybe I think it's a timeline that you can adjust, not the timer. Where you can, yeah, the timeline, because I've been working with timelines lately, that's why I was confused. The timeline is the one that you can change in the middle of. And hello, Andre. I don't think I missed any questions. I kind of got distracted there with C++. Yeah, Rodrigo. Yeah, when trying to make an RTS, it makes it a little more complex. I agree. I think Harry is having the same issues right now, working on something similar. And I do hope to go into a more advanced AI, but it's... I believe with my experience and other people's experience, RTS AI is something that the behavior trees don't exactly excel at. I think that seems to be the consensus of people who've tried to do RTS stuff with the behavior trees. Let's see, so we got glowing. What else do we have? Basic texture setup. Yeah, we'll do that one. So material, matte, master, matte master. And let's see, we want a texture, and a texture. That's a normal setup. We have our base color. We probably have a roughness map, which is probably going to be like this one. And then we have our normal map. So let's grab, whoops, I don't know what the hell that was. Apparently we have a rubber material in here. Yeah, but it's only two things. We have aluminum. Let's pull in another texture then. Well, of course, after I close down my examples. So, where can I steal a texture from? See, the Infinity Blade ones weren't finished, so that's not going to have a good texture setup. Maybe the vehicle game one does. I'm hoping to at least knock these materials out here. But again, I ask if anyone's hanging out, anyone has any suggestions on super basic stuff that you tend to implement when you're doing things, or if there's any materials you tend to recreate from time to time, feel free to let me know. I'm creating quick, get it done videos for game jams, oriented at basically common reusable stuff. I've got like a start menu and a pause menu, saving and loading system, basic materials, a generic door, a generic trigger, and then destroyable objects. So if you have anything else or any ideas pertaining to these, feel free to let me know. Right now I'm attempting to steal some materials. And this sand looks like crap. Damn it. Maybe the tree. I was hoping to find... Ooh, maybe the water. No, because see, that's not going to have... I was hoping to find something that had not only a diffuse and a normal map, but a roughness map as well. But I don't think I'm going to have any luck with that. But let's see what's on the palm tree. Yo, there's roughness. Do we have a roughness map, or are we just pulling it from... Yeah, we're just simply... We're just lerping the roughness. Damn it. I want multiple maps, you stupid thing. Can you not just give me what I want? Okay, well then, let me close this. I know where there's some in here, at least I can steal. Metal and wood. Those are decent ideas. That is a good point. Yeah, let me add that to the list. See if I can find a good way to get, so that would be kind of like, let's go with like real world objects. Real world environment. Let's go with real world environment. Metal, wood. Yeah, okay, those are good. Let's grab this, because I have, one of these... Oh, seriously? What? Okay, hold on. Did I just lose a bunch of textures? Okay, it must be in the playground then. Seriously? Oh wait, no. Wait. Diffuse. Yeah, this would work. This, because it looks like that's a metal roughness map. Asset actions, migrate, SPCE, projects, game jam examples, content. There we go. That'll work for what I want. I hope. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's figure out where this works. So let's see. That's our normal map. This is our diffuse map, and then this is gonna be. It's an M. It's named M, which I'm assuming is metal roughness, but. Let's see if there's anything in here. So, let's see. Our red channel looks like... Okay, yeah, okay. So there's at least two different maps in here. Oh, it looks like there's 3 different maps. Wait. The red, let's see, we've got white with... Actually, let's see if we had the blue. It looks like the red and the blue are the same, unless I'm confused. I'm not seeing any difference between my red and my blue. Which makes sense. If blue is probably just... Yeah, okay. So we've got a... We have 2 different maps here. I'm guessing this one's a height map, would be my best guess. And, or could that be a... I have no idea which map this would be. It probably would work good as a height map. It looks like a height map. And this one definitely looks kind of like a roughness. Let's see. 1 is how rough something is. Metal. Is this a metal map? See, they called it an M, so I'm assuming this is the metallic map. Oh, well. We'll go with the metallic map. We'll figure it out. That's the whole point of this. And yeah, plastic's good, so I'll slap that in here as well. Yeah, I'm not an artist. I know the basics, so guessing at where maps go is always fun when they don't label them. What did we think this one was? Because we technically have 2 maps in here now. Yeah, our metal map on green gave us something else. I want to go with, let's go with metallic, and let's go with, yeah, see? That does seem like it might fit well. And then let's go with this one for our green for our roughness map. Let's see what that comes out with. I don't know. Let's see. This one gives more of a shine on everything, but this one gives us the shine's only in the bottom parts. Yeah, which I don't know if I like or not. I wonder if I could do that one as a, oh, we could do that as an AO map. I bet you that would work well. Yeah, that works well. Oh, I don't need the roughness map. There we go. That'll work. That gives us a bit more grunge in the cracks. Doing that as an ambient occlusion map. That'll work. Okay. So this will work as a generic one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't create this. If I was doing this, for example, in Designer, I would have labeled it properly. A lot of these materials came in from Unreal Example projects, which I think came from Unreal Engine 3, when they were using a different set of, you weren't using the physically based rendering. So some of this stuff is just simply making stuff work, honestly. But all I wanted to do was just make a generic master material, is all I technically wanted to do. And so we could do something like, let's see, there's, let's see, I wonder if there's a super simple way of, whoops, hold on a second, yeah, because you do have this one as well. I wonder if this would be smarter to set up like this. Crap, what's the default value of roughness? Oh, we'll go with 0.5. What's this do? Oh, man. I hate how you can't convert that to a parameter. It's so annoying. See, even then, this causes an issue because you're technically, you don't know which channel you're gonna map out to. You'd have to do something like, see, I'm trying to make this as generic as possible, but even then, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. You'd have to technically do something like that just to map out the individual channel. You'd have to do this for everything. Okay, Sludge. Yeah, have a good, have fun, and make sure you back up everything before you upgrade the project. You know what? I'm gonna do this, and you know what? I think this is gonna be fun. You know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and do this. I think this might be fun. Yeah, I think this might be a fun little material to create. Okay, let's see. This one we don't need a mask for because it's going to be the material, and our switch name is going to be this is diffuse. Let's see, parameter use diffuse texture, or just use texture. Now, but we need to know if this is yeah, like that, and this is going to be parameterized. Parameterized. This one is the diffuse color. And this is a very long name. Like that. Okay. So in theory, with how this is set up, if we were to create a material instance, which I didn't need to actually rename there, we should have options to change out anything we want. Except for the fact that... Why do we not have the texture in... Oh, because of that. There we go. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because it's basically switching to the other one. Obviously, these things need to be moved around, but this at least lets me do something like this. What do you mean? Seriously? Texture sampling parent 2D requires texture 2D. Do I need to put in a generic texture in here? I bet you I do. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So I can either feed in a diffuse texture, or I can feed in a diffuse color, depending on what I want set up. And if we do this for each of these, then we basically end up with one. If you ever used Unity, they have their master material, and that allows you to basically just check things, set things up, and have it basically change the shader based on what you're going for. So we can technically do that. We can do this for the normal map, but I need to put a normal like that. And technically, crap. How do we? I can't remember the color for flat normal. Constant. I want to say it's. Oh crap! I gotta look for it. Flat normal color. 128, 128, 255. It looks like, which doesn't help because let's see, 128 is half, so 0.5.51. There we go. Normal map. There we go. So use normal map, and then this would be the normal map, like that. So in theory, if I go back to the stupid material which I keep losing, now we should have, we can have a diffuse color, and then we can use a normal map like that, and it'll ask us which normal map we want to use, and it'll apply the normal map. We'll have to, let's see. And again, I'm not the best person at this. This is what I'm trying to remember right now. Materials are my weakness. Just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, so having the normal map with the color is fine. Having the normal map... Aha. Probably because... There we go. I had a bad texture assigned to it, probably. Let's see if that fixes it now. Yeah, there we go. So we can now use a normal map or nothing. There we go. So we don't use a normal map, or we use the normal map and we have a normal matte texture here, like that. So that's kind of cool. Like that. Okay, cool. Let's see. And blah, 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 blah. So technically, we're going to do this. Get rid of this. Plug this into metallic. Metallic is usually a fixed value. And crap, what is the fixed value? Whoops, why is it not allowing me to type? There we go. Metallic value. Default value. I want to say it's... Oh, screw it. I want to say it's 0.2. Actually, I want to say it's 0.2 by default. And this should be a slider. It should be a 0 to 1 range on this. This is going to be our metallic texture. This is the one where we actually need to mask out, because a metallic texture, any of these other textures are normally single channels. So we'll have to set this up, and I hope I can parameterize that. Yeah, okay, good. And then this is going to be the metallic channel. Default to red like that. So we should have a metallic texture, metallic channel, or it's going to switch between there. Okay. So now, let's see. One of these, oh, because it would help if I renamed this one. Use metallic texture. That, close this one out. There we go. So now we could use the metallic texture and that, and then we have the ability to set a metallic texture to whatever we want. So we could do, like, for example, here, and then we can tell it it's the red channel or whatever channel we want, because we know that the red and the green both have different values in this one. You can actually see the difference values. So like there's the red channel mask and there's the green channel mask. Of course, yep. Okay, cool. So that's working. So in theory now we should be able to just simply move this stuff up, copy this one, paste it in, plug this into specular, because I don't know, you shouldn't even use specular anymore, but I guess you do. Some people do. Specular channel. Specular value, and use specular texture. There we go. So that should work for specular. And then we paste this out again. Look, our normal maps get in the way. Plug this into roughness. Calls this one use roughness. Texture, which I think I spelled horribly wrong. Close enough. And this is the roughness channel. This one's going to be the roughness value. And the roughness texture. Like that. Okay, cool. And then emissive. Now normally you don't. Crap. So for emissive, damn, is emissive secondary normally a texture or a solid color? For example, do we do something like this, or do we do something similar to this? I can't remember if, I mean, in theory we should, hold on a second, let me check something. Yeah, because I think you can use a texture for emissive in terms of defining where it's coming out, and then you can always multiply that in order to get your actual brightness value. Yeah, I never use. See, I don't do very complex materials for most of the time, so I never really use emissive other than a flat value. Like I want it green, and I want it glowing green. Okay, it's what is this? Which one just? Which one of these notes just got annoyed at me? Okay, was it metallic? Oh, it would. I guess it would help if I had. Nope, that thing is mad at me. Why are you mad at me? Okay. Oh, probably because it was an error because I originally set it up without anything. Okay, and then now that then once it recompiled using the proper settings, it was fine. No, okay, now you're just being a pain in the butt. Yep, nope. That's the question here I'm having. Autumn is what I'm going to go with. Emissive, I think, can technically be both. That's what I'm actually trying to determine right now. And having the best time in the world remembering. Especially since I apparently didn't name it properly. Oh, I forgot to hook it back up. Okay, so emissive texture, check. Emissive texture. I mean, because you can technically feed in that emissive texture, and I want to say that there's going to be a multiply to give us more of an overdrive for the emissive color. So 1 for parameter strength. Okay, and then I had to find out where emissive strength went to. Yeah, see, but the entire thing is, yeah, that'll work. Whatever, that'll work. We got an emissive glowing hue now. It's not masked out right now. Yeah, it just depends. All I'm trying to do is set up a generic material here. If you want anything special, you'll have to make something special. I should stop trying to make this super duper fancy, honestly. And I need to set up the emissive. This should not be a value. This should be a color. Is what this is supposed to be. And we'll default this to green because I like green. So now I should be able to, there we go. So I can change my emissive color. My emissive strength can be whatever I want. So 0 for no emissive, 1 for your base emissive, 70 for something that blinds your eyes. There we go. And I can always, there's my default green, and then I can always use the emissive texture instead. And now it'll be, oh my god, I can't see. Right. Okay, cool. So that'll work. I don't need an emissive channel, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll leave it in there. It can't hurt, to be honest. Okay, I guess technically the last thing should be an AO. So we'll go ahead and put an AO 1 in there, and we'll leave that as we'll grab this one, and we'll do this is ambient occlusion. We'll do Ooh, AO. We'll just call it AO because it's easier to type out. We'll leave the default AO value to 0, like that. And we're actually going to leave AO as default false, normal map as true, emissive texture as false, roughness texture as false, specular as false, metallic as false, and diffuse as true. There we go. And we'll leave the default emissive strength as 0. There we go. The issue I'm having here... Oh, because I have a default map in here, so that would make sense. Yeah. We can actually go with that. There we go. So there's our default material. Let's see. Default metallic is 0.2. Default roughness. This one I know is wrong. Default roughness should be 0.8. Okay. Emissive strength default is 0. Normal map is true. Default AO is 0. Okay, cool. Now I should reorganize these because they look friggin' horrible. Yep. So, it's the easiest way to reorganize these. Let's go with the... oh, I bet you I could do... Let's go with diffuse. Let's just sort them by groups and see how that works. We'll call this one setup. Yeah, we'll go with that. Let's see if that helps. Now we should have diffuse, and then we should have setup. Like that. And then we have diffuse color or diffuse texture. There we go. And then, okay, cool. So let's finish up the other ones. Let's see. Rodrigo, I wish I could answer that one. I know you and Harry are chatting about it. There is I have no right answer regarding AI and avoidance and the nav meshes once we get into an RTS level. I wish I knew, but I don't. I have not looked into the environment query system like Harry's mentioning, EQS. I should rephrase. I've looked into the basics of it, but I haven't looked into it a lot. My extent of AI is going through doing the behavior tree stuff, and the few games I've used it, my AI was characters, no more than 40 at a time, and they were simple, go from starting point to the character or go to an exit point, navigating through a few different levels. Very simple stuff. I wish I had more. I would love to help on that one. Hopefully this will work for what I want here, and then I can work on recording. This is roughness. So all I'm doing now is grabbing all of these and trying to organize them a little better. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to hide and show things in terms of the fact that I really don't know how to do it. And this is meant to be something really simple and generic where, you have, I think emissive is only one M. Your artist comes in, he's got some materials he grabbed from like game textures or something like that, and he just slaps them onto some stuff. You set a few values in here, and boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about any of the you don't have to go into your actual materials, do anything, create custom materials for everything. You just have something that's super and simple. That is the plan. Okay, I think I got it set up now. We have AO, diffuse, emissive, metallic, normal, roughness, setup channels, and specular. So, for example, I could tell it not to use any textures, and we'll get our default. Or I could say we want to use a diffuse texture, and we want to use a normal map. And if we go to diffuse and normal, we should have a normal map we can choose. In this case, it's by default. And we should have a, whatever the hell the other thing was that I totally forgot, a normal map. No, it was a normal, right? Oh, and a diffuse, yeah. And then we can adjust these as needed. So like I could go, let's see, this is my diffuse. I put my diffuse in there. My normal map, I could grab my normal map for the brick texture. I want a metallic map. So let's go to setup, use metallic texture. Here's my metallic map. Tell it it's got R. The red channel for the metallic channel. Maybe I want a roughness. You can adjust the roughness individually like this. Or I could say, let's go with a roughness texture. And let's see, our roughness texture is going to be our map, but we're going to go with green. And then there we go. So we have like this really simple generic material, like a master material setup that we can duplicate out for anything we want, and everything's adjustable. I like that. That'll work. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse, and I think it came out well. I'm happy with that. I don't know why I just tried to close everything. Okay, so documents, materials, master material. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap this up with doing the font material. I think I'm gonna do the font material and then wrap up for the day. And I'm glad to see that there is a really cool navigation AI conversation going on. That stuff's always fun. So font material. I think we need to steal the existing font, which is definitely not a level. Here we go. And then we find it, which is going to be this one right here. So we'll grab this one, copy it here, and then let's just map this onto here. Let's map it onto a plane, make it easier. And then we should call it something. So what are we going to call this? Material gradient text. Crap. So there's two type of, okay, so let's material, screw it, let's just see if we can make it work. I've never actually done this in here before. Normally I do the UI text. I've never actually done the okay, there's a word, it's failing this way. I've never done the in-game text renderer stuff, so this should be fun. Base colors based on the vertex data. So let's see, linear gradient. U is X, so let's try multiply. Let's see what happens if we do this. Technically it gives me what I want, but it's not in the 0 to 1 space. And I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, I don't think the 0 to 1 space works for this stuff. Where is it at? Let's see. UV. Yeah, see, that's the customized UVs. That's not what I want. And the vertex color is not going to work. Let's see. UV. What is it? Coordinate, right? Texture coordinate. Yeah, see, that's not going to work. And for this, oh, what happens if we do this? Oh, look, it's green. That's kind of cool. Not what I planned on, but oh, that's cool. Yeah, see, it's not going to work based on, yeah, that's what I figured. So let's just leave this like it was, and we'll just set this up as a emissive like that, because that's something that kind of needs to be done. No base color. Yeah. And we'll just leave this as material emissive text render. Like that. Okay. So we'll do that. There's still one thing. I actually want one actual, the proper UI one. So we'll do that now. Widget blueprint, text example. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Let's grab some text. We'll go like this. We will size content like that, and then we'll grab. Oh, we'll duplicate that because we can. We can try to duplicate. Really, you're not going to. There we go. Grab this one and grab this one. Go like that. This will be our normal Roboto text with no material. Seriously, where's the material like? I know I'm not crazy. Did I literally do something stupid? Oh, font material. Gee, I knew there was a stupid thing in here somewhere. I'm not crazy. Well, I'm not that crazy. It's always hiding from me. Okay, so if I remember this one right, we still want our linear gradient. And we're going to do the UV linear coordinates. Whoops. Texture coordinates. I always forget the name for it. There we go. And then linear gradient, and then we want the vertical gradient to base color. Should be like that. We want the user interface domain. That. Oh, seriously? Okay. Now, this should not work properly. Okay, I take that back. That should not have worked properly. Well, technically my text is like that. Let's see if I give it another wrap. How can I do? I can't. Wrap. Where's my wrap? There we go. Oh, this is stupid. And there's an auto. Okay. Let's properly. There we go. That's what I was looking for. No, that works fine. Huh, I thought I needed this in coordinate space 1. Or is the fact it's wrapping each... Okay, yeah. Okay, so okay. So that was the difference. Yeah. Okay. I did need it in coordinate space 1. It's because of the fact I have spacing on the top and the bottom. That's right. So let's why don't we just duplicate this and gradient UV1 like that. We'll set this one to UV1. We'll set this one to UV0 like that. We'll grab our text like this and we will unwrap it. We'll do that. Okay, we'll do this one, and then we'll do this one, and then we will do this one, like that. And then we will change this one to the gradient UV1. There we go. That's what I was trying to show the example of. But of course, my brain was not cooperating at all. Let's say it's to multiply. Because multiplies are always fun. Multiply by color. We'll give it green's been popular today. Like that. Go back to our example. Okay, so we can see the black there. So I think that's my biggest issue here. I need to not use white. Let's use something that is a little more clear for my differentiation. Yeah, there we go. Because you can see the black up here. Because the 0 to 1 space on this block is basically from here to here. So that's why it's a very subtle one rather than black to white here and here in coordinate space 1. Right there. And that's based on the fact that this is black to white. I know there's a way to shift this down. Ooh, I wonder if I could do... Okay, see, you know what? Look what happened. I got myself friggin' distracted by text because this is more fun than anything else. And hello, Max. Happy to have you hanging out. You kind of came in near the end, except I got distracted by playing with gradients because gradients are fun. Duplicate. And we're going to call this one UMG font, whatever. Let's be coordinate 1. And we're going to go with the band because generated offset bands are friggin' fun. That. Bam. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay, let's make our text a little bit smaller, like 132. Maybe I can fit some more stuff in here. Oh, you know what? Why don't I just wrap this with a vertical box, and then I can just slap my other text in there, and everything will be nice and happy. Let's see, slap another one in there. This one's gonna be the G font, whatever. Okay, that's cool. That came out kind of cool. I don't really know why I did that, but that came out kind of cool. Oh, because I fed... Oh, that's right. It would help if I fed it into the right one, huh? Ah. That's what I meant to do right there. I swear. That's what I meant to do. Oh, I wonder... Since this is a material, technically... technically, we can drive the offset by time... using a sign, right? I guess we don't need the sign. We can just do that. That's cool. That's some cool text. That looks extremely weird, but that's a really easy way to... Okay, cool. So I like that. I like the font material. Okay, so let's find my little thingy here. Font material, gradients, and whatever. Let's see. Glowing screen. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be super simple to do without a proper material mask. But I can show that inside of emissive. So I can definitely do that. So we could do, we could cheat. We could do, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. We could do, where's my stupid boxes? Where'd my boxes go? Geometry, meshes, boxes. Here we go. We can grab like that, and grab like that. And we can size this one to 0.6, 0.6, and 1. Drag him over, drag him up, drag him over, slap him down. Something like this. Slap him down 1, give him like that. And then we can just assign our master. Where's our... Yep, not doing very well here. Here we go. So I can grab my master material. And I can create an instance of this, and this could be the computer body. Oh, let's see, the monitor body. And then this one could be the monitor screen. And this one we could really easily just go in and let's see, we're not going to use a diffuse texture. We're not going to use a normal map. Oops. And let's see, diffuse color. Go with like a white. And, oh, I want the screen actually. So emissive color. Use emissive. And what do we want for emissive? I guess white technically, right? With an emissive strength of let's go 4. That jump on the screen onto there. And the monitor body. You know, this one will be not using the texture, not using normal map. Diffuse color could be black. Let's give it a rubbery feel, so we're not going to have much roughness. So where's our roughness? Let's give it something like that. So it's kind of like a shiny feel to it. Slap the monitor body on there. There we go. And then we fake a monitor like that. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, cool. So that'll work for the monitor example. Golden screen like that, and then we'll work on that. Okay. Let's see. Official analog Joker. Okay, yeah. Glad you appreciate the VR shooting gallery. I'd love to update it in the future with the newer Unreal Engine template stuff, but I'm glad that it helped out. I had fun doing it. I'm glad everyone's enjoying themselves with the RTS stuff and the AI stuff. I would recommend, if you wanted to chat more, if you haven't done it yet, join the Unreal Discord channel. I put the link inside of the chat. It's join.unrealslackers.org. There are a couple hundred people that hang out normally all the time. There's a couple thousand people in general total. And they like to chat and do stuff like that. And how the hell? Oh, I clicked it. No, bear with me. I'm being a dum-dum. And yeah, there's just a bunch of people. There's some AI channels. There's a bunch of people who talk about the stuff. Maybe you get some help in there. Official Analog Joker for live streaming. My live streams are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at approximately 10 a.m. Pacific. Those are the days that Epic does not stream. However, this Friday I have to be out of town, so I will not have a stream. So the next one will be on Monday, the whatever, 13th, 14th, 16th at approximately 10 a.m. For anyone wondering. So I'm going to go ahead and work on wrapping this up. Everyone else who's chatting about the AI and all that stuff, feel free to join the Slackers and go chat in the AI channel. You might even find history in there with tons of other people with ideas. There's tons of smart people that hang out in the channel and just discuss stuff that is way beyond my brain right now. So if you do want to get a hold of me, I have the Twitch, I have the Twitter, I have the Unreal Slackers, like I mentioned, the Discord channel, the Beam channel, the Twitter channel. YouTube has my email address in the about. If you want to send me something or you need to ask something else, comment on any of the stuff. I do my best to reply and help out as needed. The next live stream, feel free to ask questions. The next one will be 10 o'clock on Monday, 10 o'clock Pacific Monday. I'm working on this game jam stuff right now, so, and with me being out of town, I kind of have just a lot of focus on this right now. Hopefully Monday, this stuff will be done here. I don't know if I might have a little bit more stuff left to do since I leave on Friday. But if not, then we'll be moving on to something else. I'm still trying. The goal was to get, basically what I realized was Boolean subtraction working for procedural meshes. I realized that, like, later in the day, that what we're trying to technically recreate is Boolean math with procedural meshes. So we're still working on that. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to that here shortly. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day and a good weekend. We'll talk to everyone again Monday who hangs out. I'm going to let the stream basically idle for about 30 seconds so it doesn't look like I just simply walked away. Everyone have fun.